1, 2. Good afternoon, everybody. If I could have our speakers gather up front here, we've got some chairs if you'd like to sit down, and we will get started in just a few minutes.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. And welcome to today's cutting of the ribbon for the Beauton. You heard me say wow. And wow is my acronym for today, and it stands for What Outstanding Work Performed by So Many People. I want to give thanks to those who are in attendance today, all of you, and those who are not in attendance, my father and my grandmother. Special shout out to the Most High, with whom, without him, this would not be possible. Also, thank you to my wife. And her unwavering support for 35 years and our three supportive offspring. I now want to thank my team and acknowledge my team. We have Henry Bright with Detroit Expediting and Development. Henry, where are you? He was my owner's rep. We also have Kim Dokes and Danielle Nowak with Dokes Design Architecture. Is Kim here? There's Kim, my architect. We also had PCI, led by Brandon Palmish. He was my GC. His project manager was Mike Servey, and the superintendent, as I call him, is Steve Harvey. Brandon, where's your team, man? Those guys are all right there. I also want to thank Gail with Lowe's Appliances. I gave Gail complete heck for over a year. Is Gail here somewhere? Or anybody from Lowe's here? We bought all of our appliances from Lowe's. Okay, good deal. Next, I want to thank Tierra Reese, who is my property manager extraordinaire with Sunbeam Management. I now want to thank Lynette Roberson and Tyson Gersh, who are, I just saw them a moment ago. They're right here. They are with the Neighborhood Association. They actually run the Lower North End Block Club, and they have been instrumental for the last 5 years of my project. Lynette has gone as far as to introduce me to several people along with Tyson, which also includes Abbas and Tom. They're both neighbors, and those guys, are they here, Abbas or Tom? Okay, those guys own a charging company, an EV charging company, and we will have 2 EV chargers installed here within 2 weeks for our tenants' convenience. I want to thank the artists that came through for us. We have Odie Uddy back, who I know I saw at some point, Odie, and Nicolina Stubbs. Those guys have outfitted. If you guys have not been inside yet, after we finish here, we're going to do a walking tour of the building, and you'll see the art that they have personally procured and actually installed in the building as of yesterday evening. I now want to thank John Simpson, who is my attorney. John Simpson, Esquire. Is John here anywhere? Okay. And Terry March. He told me he was coming. Terry March with DTE. There's Terry right there. Terry is the man. Terry got me a rebate, an awesome rebate, which is about 3 times what I expected for it to be. Thank you, Terry. I want to thank all the people over at St. Philip's Evangelical Lutheran Church, led by Ingrid Draper. Is Ingrid or anybody from St. Philip's here? Okay. I want to thank Vanguard, where Lisa Tucker is my liaison there. She did write me an email today that she cannot make it, so she won't be here. I also want to thank all of my developer friends and mentors who are here. I know I've seen some of my Capital Impact friends that are here. Anybody here from Capital Impact? Thank you guys for all your support. And then I have mentors that have mentored me along my development journey. I have a guy named Chris Jackson. Is Chris here? Richard Hosey. Richard was going to be here, he said. Richard here. Rod Hardiman. I know Rod is here. And Jason Jones and Cliff Brown. Those 2 guys here? Okay. And all the countless other people who've been instrumental in my project. Henry and I were talking earlier about how many people have been behind the scenes that have answered a question, that have held my hand, that have done different things. It's not just who you see up here today that was instrumental, but there were a number of people within the city, within the banks, all around the neighborhood. So I just want to thank everybody because this was a dream 5 years ago, and today it's reality. And I think we have 10 people that are living in the building right now, and we have a total of, I think it's 18 units already pre-leased. And that goes thanks to Tierra and her team, although we always had a competition who could rent more. I think I rented more, but... And next, I'm going to mention my partners in my financial stack, or my capital stack. We have Capital Impact, that I mentioned a few moments ago. We also have LISC, and I saw Brandon Hodges, or Brandon Ivory, okay. Okay, good deal. We also have, they also brought funds via the City of Detroit through the Detroit Housing for the Future Fund. We have the MEDC, who was also involved. I was able to obtain a 7-figure grant from the state of Michigan. And we have the DEGC, who approved me for a tax abatement that will save me over $735,000 over 15 years. During my groundbreaking about a year and 3 months ago, I made mention of the 13 hurdles that I encountered during pre-construction. Believe me, they did not cease once construction began. But the difference there was familiarity. PCI quarterbacked each play and often handled issues before I was even aware. During other instances, PCI, Henry, and I would huddle, brainstorm, and come up with solutions that allowed us to continue moving forward. By the grace of God, we are all here today. I mentioned giving birth during my groundbreaking. Well, today you see before you a project that is a new home for more than 20 people in the neighborhood and surrounding areas. Please continue to support other emerging developers as we do our part to help Detroit realize its full potential as we redevelop neighborhoods throughout the city. Thank you very much. Cool. Okay. Now I want to introduce to you all our newly elected deputy mayor. Her name is Amelia Howard. I'm going to read a little bit of her bio to you here. Amelia Howard is a dedicated public servant working for the city of Detroit, where she plays a pivotal role in shaping Detroit's future. She has been instrumental in spearheading numerous projects aimed at revitalizing Detroit's skyline, improving public service, and enhancing the quality of life for Detroit residents. I now give you Ms. Amelia Howard.
All right. We do not want him to get hurt on his best day. How about that? My name is Malia Howard. I do serve as the newly appointed deputy mayor for the city of Detroit. But what I want to say is this is just a great day for Detroit, but also a great day for this historic neighborhood, which is the North End. So in my time as the District 5 manager, this was one of my favorite neighborhoods to be in. And Tyson and Lynette, oh, and Ray Simpson. Tyson and Lynette really did make this fun. The North End is a special place for me. But I want to say today, this is amazing. I am straying away from my talking point, so I apologize. But this is amazing. So we just walked in and did a tour. And when I have to say, when you all go in, this is a breath of fresh air. This is exactly, a year ago, Tyson and I were on a panel for talking about architecture here in the North End, and Tyson mentioned Mr. Dickerson to me, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, let me know what's going on with that project. And here we are, right? And this is fabulous. I can't say enough. So This is something that we're seeing across the city, vacant buildings, and in this particular case, a vacant lot being transformed into affordable housing. Over the past 5 years, the city and many of the partners in this project have invested more than $1 billion in new affordable building and housing. That's because we all share a common commitment to make sure Detroiters who stayed continue to live well and in affordable housing. This is 29 units of brand new affordable housing in one of the most historic and storied neighborhoods in the city. And I just want to say, fun fact, I am still looking for the mothership. So if someone knows where the Parliament and Funkadelic's mothership is in the North End, please let me know, because I am still looking. I'd like to thank, and I'm sorry, with rent starting at $700 for the micro studio apartment.
$699.
Oh, $699. I'm sorry. I rounded that up. I apologize. $699, folks. I'd like to thank and truly congratulate Charles Dickerson on his success, and thank the partners at LISC, the Detroit Housing for the Future Fund, Ron Hardiman, and ABIRA, the ABIRA Fund, Capital Impact Partners, MEDC, and of course, our great housing director, Julie Schneider. Without her commitment, we would not have reached, and all of these partners, let's be clear, but without her commitment and guidance and leadership in this, we would have not made $1 billion in affordable housing in this city. So with that, now Detroit needs to sustain affordable housing strategy that will build another $1 billion worth of affordable housing over the next 5 years. But what I just want to say, this is amazing, again, for this neighborhood and this community who has so sought for so long to have new construction on apartments as well as single-family homes. So I am just proud to say that I'm here to see this. It's a full circle moment, going from district manager to now deputy mayor, but I get to see it. And so many people who stayed get to see it. And so I'm just proud for my 2 Block Club presidents over there, and for you, Mr. Dickerson. Continue to build, continue to grow. And as Tyson just told me, he wants you to just go all the way to the boulevard. So ask Julie how to make that happen. So with that being said, go to the boulevard. With that being said, I want to introduce our housing director, Julie Schneider.
Good afternoon. So as Deputy Mayor Howard said, my name is Julie Schneider. I'm the director of the City of Detroit's Housing and Revitalization Department. The Housing and Revitalization Department is focused on ensuring that Detroit's neighborhoods and its people are served with housing and services that are quality, affordable, and accessible to and for all Detroiters. So this is the first project that I think that I have been at both the groundbreaking and the ribbon cutting for. But it also stands out in my mind as one of the more special groundbreakings that I was a part of. You could really feel the excitement. You could feel the achievement that from both, of course, Charles Dickerson, but the community, and it was really memorable and special to be a part of. When we started the Detroit Housing for the Future Fund, which Charles mentioned was one of the funding sources through LISC, what we were aiming to do was create a new source to fund affordable housing. We know the need for affordable housing is far, wide, and deep, both in Detroit and throughout the country. And we wanted to make sure that the rebuilding of Detroit's neighborhoods was done with and by Detroiters. And so the fund, the Detroit Housing for the Future Fund, was really set up to enable affordable housing development. And that was really a special groundbreaking because your family was there. And I couldn't remember another groundbreaking that I'd been a part of, although we've been a part of several since, where not only was the neighborhood out in support and the funders are always here. Of course, the trades and the contractors that work on it are always there, but your family was there. And I could see the love and support for you and just really how special the achievement was. So, and we're joined by them as well today. And so this is the type of project that the Detroit Housing for the Future Fund was really set up to do, to invest in our local residents who wanted to be developers and rebuilding our neighborhoods. So it's really special to be able to be here today and to celebrate the opening of this project. DHFF has supported 13 projects and 435 units across the city. We're looking to continue this work and do more. Rob from LISC will talk more about that in the coming moments. I just want to conclude by thanking our funding partners, Capital Impact, EBIARA, MEDC, and DEGC, who continue to make investments in helping to rebuild Detroit's neighborhoods. So thank you. Wonderful to see everybody out here today to celebrate this major achievement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Julie. Very, very kind words. She mentioned my family. Again, my wife and our oldest daughter is here. Unfortunately, our son, who is a senior at Purdue, was not able to make it back for the occasion. Charles IV is not here, and our youngest child, Cassidy, who is a sophomore at Howard University, could not make it back. But they are watching us on either YouTube or Facebook because they wanted to be a part of the program. One thing that I did not mention that I want to make mention of for any of you guys who are not aware, I bought this land in 2019. I initially bought 5 lots, ended up having to buy a 6th lot to add to the project. But now we have 29 residential apartments. Out of those 29, 10 are considered micro units. 10 are right around 222 square feet. We have taken it upon ourselves with the interior designer and the architect to fully furnish those 10 units. So those units have beds, they have nightstands, they have tables, they have chairs, they even have televisions hung on the wall. So those are in place to allow a person to come in with their suitcase and call it home. And those are the ones that start at $6.99 per month. And then we have 10 that are considered studio apartments. They're pretty sharp apartments. They actually have partitions that separate the bedroom from the rest of the apartment. Everything in here has their own private balcony, as you guys can see. Everybody has stainless steel washer or stainless steel dishwasher, stove, refrigerator, and microwave. Everybody has their own in-unit washer and dryer as well, central air and central heat. We do have secured parking, off-street parking for those who elect to go with that option as well. So it should be a very, very good place for several people to call home. With that, I won't go into much more detail about that, but I now want to introduce Rob Lockett. Rob is the Executive Director with LISC. Rob?
We'll need you following again.
Thank you, brother.
All right. How's everybody doing? I'm going to be brief so I can get back to my little scarf over here. My southerner is coming out, but anytime that we can talk about affordable housing in Detroit, obviously, is a good day, so it's great to be with you all. As Charles said, I'm Rob Lockett with the LISC, and I bring greetings to you on behalf of our team, which are here, scattered here somewhere, Vic, Anthony over here. We made the long trek from down the street where our office is located. It's about maybe 5 blocks away. But we've been in the North End specifically for about 30 years. So we consider this home territory. And anytime that we can finance developers to help create affordable housing for the residents of the city, we want to be able to do that. I want to send some thank yous really quickly to Mayor Duggan and his leadership, as well as Council President Sheffield, and the Detroit City Council for their advocacy for high quality, affordable housing across the city at large. The success of DHFF is built upon strong partnerships. And in 2019, the city and LISC co-designed this program for this purpose. And the person at the head of that who deserves another round of applause is Julie. So Julie, we appreciate all the work that you've done. And all the work that we will do together. So in terms of how we look at really approaching place and space, we find it very important not only to, again, to develop executions like this, but do that with local developers. So we have a great ecosystem of developers in our city that have been developing real estate here for a very long time. We've been a partner alongside that work as they go to market. Since 1990, we've deployed about $400 million in capital and leveraged about $1.5 billion for development on residential and commercial spaces. Again, making sure that affordable housing is accessible. What we didn't mention is that in that unit count, about half of that is reserved for individuals that are 60% or below AMI. So I think that deserves a round of applause as well. So we'll pass it over to our friends at Capital Impact, but I would like to thank our partners, our investors, our philanthropic partners for their commitment to Detroit and to the housing needs of residents here in terms of rehabilitation, preservation, and creating safe, affordable housing. We look forward to being a partner in this market for many years to come. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob. As Rob mentioned, about 50% of the project here is considered affordable. We have some units that are held for 50% of the AMI, of the area's AMI, 60% and 80%. And again, that is how we are able to help people that have been here for years or for generations to remain in the neighborhood. So again, I thank the city of Detroit for their assistance there, as well as the state of Michigan. And I won't go into a lot of detail, but they have approved me for loans with lower interest rates, so my costs are lower, so I can charge less for people to be able to be in the building. So it works for everyone involved. And I haven't been able to mention everybody, but I see Vic now. I didn't mention Vic earlier with Liz. Vic is there. I see Damon Dickerson, who's not really my cousin, but he also helped with the architectural drawings in the very beginning. But now I want to introduce another gentleman who is very important in the process and who loaned me a lot of money by way of Capital Impact, Damon Hodge.
Thank you, Charles, and good morning, Detroit. Very happy to celebrate this beautiful occasion. Again, I'm Damon Hodge with Capital Impact Partners, and one of the things we specialize is in providing capital for people looking to do developments that are transformative in areas that are often underserved. So we're very happy and proud to be a part of this new development that is not only revolutionizing and redoing a site that previously was home to two blighted structures, or one occupied but slightly older and one blighted unoccupied structure and a vacant lot. And now Mr. Dickerson has turned that into what is really a beautiful and transformative project that will help spur on the redevelopment of the North End. So we're very proud to be a part of that and to be able to be a part of that story. We want to thank Charles. We want to thank the City of Detroit and the Mayor's Office. We want to thank the other funding partners on this transaction, Ebiara Fund, LIST, DHFF, as well as we want to thank Charles was eligible for a grant made possible through Capital Impact Partners as a graduate of our year 2000 Equitable Development Initiative. It was enabled Charles to receive a grant through the Kresge Foundation. So we want to thank them for their support to Capital Impact, as well as to developers like Charles doing this type of project. I told Charles I'd remain professional today, but I have to tell a quick story. I've known Charles for a number of years, and under my previous employer, I've financed a number of projects for Charles, including he did a renovation of a formerly burned down 4-unit building, about a mile from here, about a mile south of here, about 10 blocks south of here. So we lent him the money to do that. Quick shout out to Liberty Bank. I don't know if they're here, but previous employer. And when he was finishing that project, I told Charles, you look like you're catching the bug. And he said, what bug? I said, Charles, this development thing is addictive. It's very stressful, it's very hard, it's very complicated, but once you do it, you start to see it take shape. You catch the bug. You get addicted to this game. About a week later, Charles said, hey, Damon, I need to talk to you. I want to buy some property. I said, okay, let's take a look at it. What is it? He said, it's a lot, it's a house, and I want to knock it all down and build up a building. I said, oh, okay, I thought you were done. No, well, I've thought about it, man. And I went through your program. He had just graduated from the EDI program, and he said, I went through this program. I got all this great education training. I feel I'd be remiss if I didn't put it to use. So then he built this. We gave him the money. He bought the lot. Long story short, I moved over to Capital Impact. He got the loan. 2 years later, here we are. Now Charles is looking at his next project, which is beautiful because he's done a wonderful job on this project. As everyone will see, I've been through here a number of times, but not in its current beautiful condition. I say all that to say, Charles, congratulations. I'm glad you still have, and I hope you still have the bug, and I hope we can continue to get fine support for you to do additional projects like this, because this is why Capital Impact provides the EDI training, because we want to see more projects like this continue to have positive impact on the city and be done by people who have a vested interest and have been here doing this work for a long, long time. So, Charles, congratulations to you and your family and everyone involved in the project. Now, if we can only keep you off of ladders, you will be fine.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much, Damon. Again, it's been a very long and arduous process, and very tedious. And my wife, she knows better than anybody else. My pre-construction, it was almost like torture. It was very, very challenging. And if you had asked me the day after pre-construction was over, after I had secured all of my financing, I would have told you, no way will I do it again. I stand here before you today after giving birth to the earth again, and it's a very, very good chance that we'll see something else pop up in some form or another. I've made a lot of friends. I've made a lot of contacts, and there are a lot of people who want to continue on this journey. I see Ed Fish. Once you do things of this nature, doors begin to open, and you guys probably know that I'm a spiritual guy, and I believe that to whom much is given, much is expected. So if I'm able to help others come and follow in or plow through my foot tracks, I'll do just that. I see Michelle Stewart here, another good friend, and her husband have just purchased something also. So I try to help people in that same vein. So let's keep working together and making good things happen. With that said, I want to introduce another guy who I've known for a number of years. Our children were in Bates Academy together, and now he loans me money. Rod Hardiman is the founder of Urge Imprint and the Ebiara Group. And he'll come up now and give us a few words.
Good afternoon. What up, though? That's right. Charles and I go back. When we first met as parents, as Cub Scout dads at Bates, everyone always talks about, overnight successes, right? People talk about how fast this project happened. But this project is decades in the making. This is a project that is a testament of commitment to community, right, to vision, and to making sure that we do positive, impactful investments in our own city. When we founded Ebiara 2 years ago now, our goal was to provide capital to emerging developers, black and brown developers, those who are historically underserved, to make sure they have the opportunity to invest and to build their own neighborhoods and their own blocks and their own cities. We knew that if you invest in the right folks, then they will make the right investments. Those who are culturally aware and culturally competent of their communities will make important and great decisions and build buildings and build neighborhoods and blocks that the community appreciates, correct? So this is a testament that when you invest, when you build with those who are locally rooted, who are culturally rooted, it has not only cultural and social impact, but it has economic impact. We employ jobs, we create spaces that are available for everyone. So Urge and our partners at Invest Detroit and Kresge are happy and proud to stand with you, Charles, to be a part of this story a small part of this story and to make sure that others like Charles and like CADS, when they come along next, have the opportunity to have the capital and access they need to transform their lives, their communities, and their cities. So we appreciate you all, and thanks everyone for showing the support to CADS and Charles. This is significant, right? Development is hard work, y'all, and nothing easy about this. And so when you're going through all the fire, it's important to see individuals like yourselves here supporting these groundbreakers and, more importantly, the ribbon cutting, because this is where the money happens. So awesome. Congrats, Charles.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much, Rob. Next, I want to bring up a guy who he has to be what I would call my biggest cheerleader, if you will. This guy, he speaks positively of me so often, and I feel that I don't deserve it. And he just tells me to shut up and take it. I mean, I meet other people that he's talked to, and he's talked about me. But anyhow, this gentleman lives in the neighborhood. He's been here for a number of years. He's very instrumental in the development of the neighborhood, in the security of the neighborhood, in the progression of the neighborhood. I want to have Tyson Gersh come up and give us a few words for the North End Neighborhood Association.
I'm going to keep this brief. I didn't know I was going to be speaking today until about an hour ago, so I don't have a script. But while I was watching the previous speakers talk, I was really trying to think, like, what's important to communicate here. Change is really hard, and it's really scary. And when it comes to a neighborhood, people feel really out of control. Our neighborhood association has worked with a number of developers over the past 15 years, and every time when you're getting to know somebody that's coming to bring change to your neighborhood, it's a bit of a courtship process. Can I trust this person to change the world that I experience every day? Like, is this person going to understand what's important to me and the way that I live in this neighborhood? Mr. Dickerson is one of those people that just gets it. I am constantly raving about him. He's come to so many community meetings, and he really understands the concerns people talk about. You hear him talk about the project. He's obsessed with all of the details. He's excited to talk about how people will experience this space. And that's the kind of person we need to empower. So huge shout out to the funders who invested in this man, who understands what the people of the city need. And, you know, we need to empower more emerging developers just like Mr. Dickerson. We trust him. Our neighborhood has never unanimously supported, like 100%, even our most critical residents who have to this day never supported anything but Mr. Dickerson's project. Every single person is obsessed with him, and they're begging him to do more because he cares. And that's what we need to see. Please give this man more money. Please. We're looking at these lots right across the street. I've been trying to get him to build some stuff next to the campus, the farm campus up the street. Please give him more money. We trust this man to bring change to our community because we know he's a part of it. He lives right up the street. He is always available. When he makes a change in the project, we're the first to know. We don't get surprised by anything because he knows that changes without consent or without notice, like that's the stuff that will trigger people's anxiety. He just understands the perspective of people who live here. And we trust him to develop and change more of this community as our partner, as a member of our community. So seriously, please give him more money. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyson. Thank you very much, Tyson. I told you all he was too kind. Craig is motioning now. I guess it's time for us to be quiet and to cut the ribbon. I want to call my wife up, please, and our oldest daughter. Take a look around. So go ahead and